Miller for three. Yes. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead. North. Batista with the catch. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right now.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome back to The Bounce. I am your host, Kev. With me, as always, the one, the only James Schmeitz. James, I've got a surprise for you and all the folks. But first, how are you doing?
I am fantastic, Kev. I am fantastic. What is this? What are you talking about? What surprise? What you got going on?
I'm here to mend fences with the Bulls fans, all right?
Oh.
See, they don't understand how far back we go. They don't understand
Okay.
it. I've got a deep history with the Bulls fans.
Okay.
I was raised by a Bulls fan, so pardon me as I step away from the mic and show you all a little NBA history here.
Oh my, 96 Eastern Conference champion shirt, Kev. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, bud.
Somewhere in safekeeping, there is a snapback with the NBA championship with the finals trophy and everything on it from that same year. Yeah, so I was living in the city back in those days. Little Chicago kid back in the day. Spent a couple years
There he is. There we
out
go.
in the suburbs of Chi-Town. So caught a few games at the United Center. Have some of the memorabilia still. So look, we can be friends.
Mend some fences, bud. Whatever you got to do to mend those fences.
It'll take a long time, but we'll get there. Hey, you know who we don't have to mend any fences with before we dive into this first game? Once again, we don't talk about our headlines before the show, and I didn't even say anything to you in the pre-show because I didn't want to mention it until now. Yeah, we're in theme again. You know, next time I'll go buy a Nuggets hat for the next episode.
All right.
Just
Yeah,
rolling.
we didn't talk about that at all. So we never tell each other what those are going to be.
One of these days we won't pick the same theme. It's
And
been
then all
several.
hell's going to break loose.
Well, you know, all hell might break loose tonight if the Brooklyn Nets pull off the upset at home. It's sad to say this. Maybe it's not an upset. Maybe I'm being a little strong here, but that's the game that is currently live.
Mm-hmm.
It's going on right now. 6 minutes left in the third. It's a 3-point game that, as far as I see on my end, Brooklyn has the lead.
That's what
So
I've got.
that's where we're going to start, James. What are your thoughts going in to Game 3, and now that we're halfway done with it, what are your thoughts for the rest of this series?
Game 2 is ugly. That's my initial thought. 96-84 Game 2. That was gross. Nets were 30 of 80 from the field, 37%, 13 of 42 from 3, 31%, 11 of 17 from the free throw line. Ugh, yuck. Philly had 19 turnovers. This series has gone as we expected. Philly's up 2-0. 20-point win Game 1, 12-point win in Game 2. They are down. I see the same thing you do. 3 here late in the third. Ooh, Brooklyn's actually outscored them by 14 this quarter. It's kind of wild.
Hey, making a move. They're not done yet.
No, Mikal Bridges is 22. Nick Claxton, 14 on 6 shots. He's doing pretty good. It's interesting. The 76ers are winning, but it's interesting. Joel Embiid had 8 turnovers last game. Harden's been bad. He's a little better.
Maybe got his head elsewhere. We'll talk about that soon.
Apparently, that rumor floated again. It's wild timing that popped up again. Tyrese Maxey's been really good. He had 33 points last game. I think, and even if the Nets win this one, I still think it's a 4-1 series. I think the 76ers close it on out.
The old gentleman sweep. I tend to agree with you. I think this one's in the books. I'm not going to be swayed either way. Let's see. We got Michael disagrees with us. Welcome. Good time for me to shout out Michael in the chat and let all of you know watching at home. You can get in on the show by getting a comment in on Facebook or YouTube, and hopefully to our new viewers on Twitch, we will see. I'm hoping I'll be able to see your comments from here. But yeah,
like Michael, I didn't see the play. I saw Joel Embiid got a flagrant foul tonight. He kicked somebody, I believe. Let's see. Gets flagrant one for kicking Nets Nick Claxton. Kicked him in the first quarter. Less than 3 minutes into the game.
And we don't have the video ready for that. But
Claxton stepped over him and Embiid kicked him in the midsection. Interesting. I haven't seen the video. I've not seen the video.
We need to pull that up, and I'll work on trying to pull that up. But
let's see if I didn't know anything about it just a little bit ago. So
yeah, I wonder, because there could be some validity to that he should have been ejected, and that would have I don't know if that would actually have a big enough impact. I was going to say that it would, like, oh, that could change the outcome of this series. I don't think, unless it's going to be just a 1-game suspension.
Yeah, if he got ejected this game, he wouldn't get suspended a second game. He doesn't have a history of it. He's not the one and only Draymond Green.
That's the other part with Draymond that gets frustrating. Michael, we will talk about this part too. James Harden. But Trevor's got Philly with the money line. Okay, you're owing over there, James? What do you got?
I'm gonna send you
the video.
Yeah, yep. Let me send it to you.
Ooh, okay.
In
just a moment, we'll have this.
It's not good.
Wait 1 second. We got to build some tension here.
Yeah, build that tension. It's Michael. I don't know if I disagree with you. Like, maybe he should have been.
Here we go. Let's pull it up here. Oh, wait a minute.
It started early, so he makes a late. Here you go. Dunks it.
Here's the step over. Oh! I don't think I disagree.
I agree, Michael. It is warranted.
Let's roll that not in beautiful Embiid footage. Yeah.
It's not really much different.
Mm-mm.
That's bad. Like, it's also, what is up with these guys making dumb plays? Like, what are you doing?
I say one thing also, that it's never smart to step over a guy?
It's so dumb too. He didn't need to do that at all.
Not that, again,
it's bad. Like,
doesn't warrant a kick to any section, let alone the midsection. But yeah, no, don't step over. You don't want to get kicked. Don't step over a guy. Simple problems call for simple solutions. But if you want a big league, a guy like that, you ought to be prepared. Unless you are Shaquille O'Neal and you're dunking on Chris Dudley, maybe be ready to get kicked if you're going to step over a guy. However, let me say, I do think that warrants an ejection. There's not a basketball play to be found there. If you're going to eject Draymond, I think you have to eject Embiid. And we'll get to it later. I don't love that Draymond got suspended for a game, but I understand it. And if you're going to do that, I think you got to do it to Embiid here. What is your thought?
I think so, and I think you're going to hear people say it a lot. Like, there isn't much difference between that and what happened to Draymond. Like, that's pretty similar. Like, if you're going to suspend one, you got to suspend the other, or you're going to eject one, you got to eject the other. Suspension's different thing entirely with Embiid. That's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Got too much to lose to be doing something like this. Yeah. They actually have a pretty favorable first round matchup. Realistically, they should be able to get through the first round unscathed and rest up and try to prepare for what's going to be a mountain that they have to climb, whether it's Boston or Milwaukee. Philly's got uphill sledding the rest of the way to get to the finals. Now if Embiid gets suspended, you might end up playing an extra game or two against the Nets now, time you could have been resting. And it just, it's unfortunate. I hate to use a word like cursed, but it does. I think back to the process, trusting the process, and Markelle Fultz, and now Ben Simmons, and yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes people get out of Philly and things get better.
Right.
I like Michael's take, and while we're talking about Philly not maybe having their head in the game, before we move on from this topic, I want to bring up a little something here. I will pull up the tweet momentarily, but the moral of the story is that ESPN has reported that James Harden is pretty interested in going back to Houston. James, what are your thoughts there about just this in general, and then about the fact that it's coming out right now?
Michael might be right. I don't. Why does this keep like we're in the playoffs and this like where does this come from? And also, why does he want to go back to Houston? They're terrible.
I have some thoughts on that.
Go right ahead because I don't have an answer. They're awful.
I remember hearing, maybe was it John Wall? Perhaps correct me if I am wrong, but I believe it was John Wall on some podcasts that said something along the lines of when he got to Houston, he was looking forward to meeting James Harden, and James was talking about, like, come meet me over here. He was going to a party or something. And moral of the story is, don't quote me. The details aren't really the important part. The vibe, the moral of the story was that James Harden kind of ran things in Houston, and he got to dictate when he would be where and not the other way around. So part of me wonders if he's got friends, family, he loved the life outside of basketball. Maybe he loved the life he had in Houston. Maybe that's where he wants to physically be. Mm-hmm. But also, I think he kind of had the keys to the city when he was out there.
It was always the owl, so they'll never let us live it down. Yeah, man. If you don't care about winning, go to Houston. Those young guys, doesn't he play the same position?
Yeah. Well, I mean, exactly, I imagine if he's coming, then you're gonna be done with certain projects. Some of those young projects
make no sense. Like they're young. Like you want those guys to play. Like what do you want? Old James Harden? He's not the MVP James Harden anymore.
No, absolutely not.
Got a lot of love for James Harden this one tonight.
Yeah, we got both sides of the James Harden spectrum because we've got Justin watching on Facebook. Appreciate you, brother, for watching. He's a Philly fan, so of course he wants to see James stick around. And I would say,
over him.
Although, yeah, I mean, if you're getting to trade him out for Dame, yes, please. Tell me where to sign. But no knock on Harden, but I just think Dame has a little bit more, his window's a little larger for him being a top 25 player in this league, whereas I think Harden's on his way out. He still has a great ability to get to the foul line, which honestly has always been James's thing, really. Don't get me wrong, he could cross people up and shoot those step back threes, but even after that has gone away, he has this great ability to get to the line. You can talk about the rules and his, how he can hook guys with his off arm, but hey, it's still a skill no matter which way you cut it. His ability to get to the free throw line 18 to 20 times if he really needs to is still valuable, but give me Dame over Harden, but for no small reason. It's for stuff like this, right? Why are we hearing about it? Not necessarily a knock to James personally, because I don't know how this has gotten out, but this could be the people around him. But didn't there always just seem to be something?
There's always something. His exit from Brooklyn, his original exit from Houston, like there's always something, man. Like
Michael letting it
never ends with him. Again, I don't know why. Like, what has he done? He's never won a title. Oh God.
One of these days, he's going to get one. And that's that was the big takeaway I had. If this is true, I'd like to go back to Houston thing is true, then that just lets me know that winning a title isn't high on his agenda.
Yeah, it's not. Mm-mm.
Unless he really is just that confident that they're going to win one this year in Philly, which I dig that level of confidence if that's the case.
It's not great to have those kind of rumors floating out in the middle of a title chase, though.
Exactly. But let's not mince words, I guess, for this series, right? I believe we are both in sync here, but let me ask you before we go on to the next one, what do you think? Are the Sixers, let's keep in mind that Embiid might be missing a game going forward. Are the Sixers still the clear favorite for you?
In this series?
Yeah, in this series, yep.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they still got a chance to pull it off tonight. Last update I got here, they're down 1, down 4 right now, almost the end of the fourth or third. They got to get it figured out. They got outscored 15 points in that quarter. Yeah, I still think they're the clear favorite in the series. They still got home court advantage, even if they lose tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for what it's worth, this game, it doesn't impact my thoughts on this at all. If anything, everybody's just holding serve, so to speak. And so Justin thinks Embiid is going to be all right. I won't be surprised if he misses a game, but even then, yeah, I agree with your take. I do think he's going to be okay. I think they will be okay. I hope it doesn't come back to bite them, that they may end up having to play one extra game just because of that kick. Because this really should have been, at worst, a gentleman's sweep here, and they should be resting and waiting and watching tape to see who between Milwaukee and Boston they're going to be playing. Because I still think Philly can give either team a series, but they're going to lose a little bit of the advantage that I thought they had going in. So, James, who do we want to talk about next? We have 2 other games tonight, folks. So we're starting with the action that is here tonight. So that way you are prepped for the 10 p.m. and 10:30 tip-offs. And then we will roll things back and talk about the other series that have happened so far. So, James, I will hand it to you. Where are we going, sir?
Let's just go in chronological. Ooh, that was a tough word for me to spit out.
I like that.
Tongue-tied there. Let's go Warriors-Kings. Warriors are down 2-0 to the Kings. This is the first time in the Steph Curry era they have been down 2-0. And I think the big talking point, Kev, is Draymond Green ejected in Game 2 for stomping on Domantas Sabonis. They were down 4 at the time with 7:03 remaining. We're on about to be on a fast break. Could have been down 2 or 1. He gets suspended for Game 3 tonight in what Joe Dumars calls excessive and over-the-top actions. Kev, what is your take on the Draymond Green situation, buddy?
This one is tough. I have mixed feelings about this. That's the quickest way for me to express myself. Let me just say, I believe it was Rick Bucher who tweeted out, or he said it and then it was tweeted about something along the lines of there will be an asterisk to this series if the Kings win because Draymond missing a game has that big of an impact. I disagree. We can maybe get to that later. We're going to have to maybe hop back to this Sixers game here in a second. Yeah. It sounds like Harden got ejected, but
he did. Yes.
Oh man, I love live broadcasting, folks.
Out.
So
I do not know what happened. James Harden has been ejected.
Wow.
What?
Wow, this is insane. So while James, do you mind looking for that footage while I
continue your talking?
Talk about Kings Warriors here just for a minute, and we will promise, folks, we will get back to this ongoing Sixers Nets situation. But when it comes to the Draymond ejection and the stomp, a couple things. I hate seeing him not be in this series because I don't like the narrative. Even though I disagree with it, I don't like that people can offer up that asterisk and say, oh, well, if you're the Kings, you want to be able to beat the Warriors at full strength. Well, if the Warriors want to be at full strength, they should, Draymond shouldn't curb stomp people in the backcourt. However, I want to acknowledge a couple of things. I want to acknowledge that it did look like Sabonis grabbed his foot. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I don't know that the punishment fits the crime. Second person always gets caught. And when, again, I made this joke. So Michael, shout out. He called me out. I'm one of many to be busted in the modern day Twitter where at 23moneygreen tweeted something where I instantly bought that it was Draymond because it sounded like something Draymond would say. So he was a victim of his own reputation on my Twitter timeline, much like I kind of think that didn't help him in this situation. Granted, again, he got some elevation on that stomp. So the optics don't look good no matter who's doing it when, but he has a reputation that precedes him. And so I think there was you have to know he's smart enough. He's a savvy basketball player. He has to know he can't do something like that in this situation or it could cost his team dearly, and it did. So I really, to quote one of my favorite movies, do you know what this is, James?
That is the world's smallest violin, buddy.
And he's playing just for Draymond Green.
Yeah. I don't disagree with anything you said. some history on it. It's the third time he's been suspended in the playoffs. The most famous one is the 2016 NBA Finals when they were up 3-1 and then had a home game and Cleveland came back and won the series. I love the Warriors. I love the way they play. I love Steph. I love Clay. I do like Draymond. I am very tired of the antics. I'm actually very tired of them defending him. It's a dumb play. They are down 4. I mean, they had chances to win both the first 2 games and they lost them both. And as soon as that happened, you knew they weren't going to win. Like nobody thought they were going to win. They lost their best playmaker. Steph was being hounded. Looney can't run that role. He can't run that short roll like Draymond can. It was uncalled for. It was unwarranted. It was dumb. And I agree with the suspension because he's got a history of it. And I disagree with the asterisk thing. Do you think the Cavaliers think their 2016 finals banner is there an asterisk on it?
I haven't heard that argument.
Nope. There's not.
No.
And guess what? The Kings didn't do it. Draymond did it. You say all you want. You can say all you want about Sabonis grabbing his leg. Does he? Yes. Does it warrant Draymond stomping on him and essentially stomping on their hopes of winning that game? No. And for him to then he goes to the bench, he gets in with the crowd. Like, it's a bad look. It's not. And I'm also, Kev, tired of the argument that he's a competitor and things happen. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Steph as a competitor. You ever seen him do anything like that?
Well, you can go. The worst thing Steph does is throw his mouth guard into the crowd, and he's done that one a couple of times, and it bites him every time he does it too. But no, I agree with you because I've always been anti this. Like, oh, that's just the way I am. We are out here to grow in more ways than this. It just goes beyond X's and O's on the basketball court right now. We're out here to get better every day. So if you know it's a weakness, if it's a known problem where you get suspended because of the 16 plus technicals you get throughout the regular season, it is on you, my friend. Not anybody else's fault. To check yourself, get your emotions under control. It's okay to have them. It's not okay to put the greater good in this case when you're in a team, you're in a locker room. You said it earlier. I mean, this season started with him.
Yes. Started with him punching,
cheap shotting his own teammate,
and may end with him stomping him out of the playoffs.
And it's sad. It's sad that this will be the stuff that he's remembered for. It's kind of like Dennis Rodman. People think of Dennis Rodman for Carmen Electra, and not the fact that he was an all-world NBA defensive player for a decade.
He is so important.
What are you going to do?
The current NBA, like this era, you won't be able to talk about this era without talking about him. But his legacy is now going to be. Like, that's it. Like, that's what people are going to remember. They're going to remember the dumb plays, the stomping on people, the stupidity, how he hurt the Warriors, how he possibly cost them one title, maybe another shot this year at another one, because they are down. I mean, they're down 2-0 without him.
And maybe 3-0. Light the beam let's see where. There we go. Beam team to the moon.
Kev, if you had tonight, 10 o'clock, are the Warriors going to beat the Kings?
I do think so, and I don't know why. It's the Warriors at home, and all I've seen on Twitter for the last 48 hours is how Jordan Poole can't play basketball anymore, and how the young kids are upset at their role, which would be understandable. I also, I don't know, it's tough. It's very tough to navigate the world of Twitter NBA rumors these days. So I don't know how much stock to even put into that. But for some reason, this is a team, they can't win a game at home in the last 2 times, or on the road, in the last 2 chances that they had, they just squandered. But at home, they've been almost really as unbeatable. So for some reason, despite the odds, make no mistake, I still have the Kings coming out of this series. And if they win tonight, it's a sweep. There's no last gasp coming out of Golden State. But what do you think, James?
I think Golden State blows it tonight. I think De'Aaron Fox continues. I mean, he's been magnificent this series. De'Aaron Fox has been unstoppable. 31 points a game, 7 assists per game, 3 rebounds per game, 46% from the field. He's been stellar. The Warriors, their ball screen defense has been abysmal. They can't stop. De'Aaron Fox he is lightning fast, man. That man is explosive, and they're getting split. He's blowing by them. Like, their drop coverage is bad. Like, I think it's over. I think it's over. I was wrong. I picked the Warriors to win the series. I do not. I think it's over. See you later. Good night, sweet prince.
You know, this ring light over here, it's always purple because I like that. But, you know, I just want everyone to know I did not pick the Warriors. All right?
I did.
We got the Kings. Light the beam.
I definitely said the Kings were going to win, and I oopsie did. That was an oopsie.
Oh, wait. Folks. Justin in the chat on Facebook throws us for a loop here. He had us in that first half. I'm not going to lie. Wait. Nope. There we
go. Would be wild.
There we go. So we are, listen.
Someday.
I'm out here lighting beams, but before we move further, we have to move backwards because look at this. Chat blew up for this, and so we need to check it out. What is going on? Wow. Harden ejected. Don't worry.
Gone out of the game, and
I've got the documents.
We have the video.
Let's roll that footage.
Booker calling for the signal for a replay here.
Are you kidding me?
We'll see it from here. Oh, yes.
Oh, first of all,
like
Reggie Miller had. It hurts me to say this, but Reggie Miller, who I grew up idolizing above Larry Bird, mind you, as a kid growing up in Southern Indiana, Larry Bird has had some absolute dog shed takes. And you know it's out by a dog shed. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
They have been he has said some awful things lately, and I feel like he's just been towing the league's line here. Sometimes it doesn't even sound like it doesn't sound like the Reggie Miller I've listened to for the past decade and a half. And I don't know. What are your thoughts here, James? I clearly have given my opinion on this ejection.
I agree. It should have been a flagrant probably. But if you're not going to eject Embiid, how are you going to inject Harden? Like, they're the same thing. They're almost identical.
This to me, this is less. So what Harden's doing is obvious. He's pushing off, right? Offensive foul, certainly. I think it's, as you said with Embiid, it's much easier to make an argument that what Embiid did had intent. I think, honestly, Harden was doing what he always does, which is to get separation, and he accidentally hit below the belt. I do not think that was his intention. His intention was to create space. This is a hockey game. What is going on?
What?
Wow, it is. It's so chippy. What? I mean,
hold on. I think
this is old school too. Eastern Conference, you guys. What Michael has been bouncing around. Yes, he seems to echo the take. It's a flagrant for sure, but not an ejection. What is going on in my best Jim Halpert voice? I will pull this down. Whenever you get the,
if you go to Hoop Central, it's on there. They posted it.
Oh,
so
here we
go.
go.
To their Twitter, it's in there. I am confused. Like, what?
I cannot. Well, this was not intended. This is not how this show is intended to go, folks. But here we are.
Scroll down. It's right. It's right there.
Nick Claxton ejected. Okay, let's hear it. Let's see it. Can I full screen?
This is bad.
It's what? No way.
Yeah.
And then, did you hear Reggie?
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to my childhood idol. This is awful. I am shocked.
I understand like the little bit of taunting, but they ejected him?
Yeah, to eject? I don't get this at all.
But somehow Embiid's still in the game. He did the worst of them all.
I share Michael's sentiment here. This is insane, and apparently it's the right call. So I'm going to stop sharing that one for a second. Wow.
What?
Just insane. At this point, as a former official, I can speak on this. I can speak on this.
Kev, you are a former official.
Yeah, what was bad there? So I'm gonna, now that I've got it off the full screen and I can navigate things a little bit again, we're gonna let this play. We're gonna put it on mute and we're gonna talk away. Trevor, I walk away for 2 minutes. What is happening?
The
What's
world,
going
like,
on?
I don't know.
To me, my personal take as a former official, the officials have gotten too emotionally invested into this game. It's gotten too personal for them, and they have made it about themselves. You can get in that, as is mentioned in chat, it's gotten chippy, right? Clearly, there have been kicks to the groin, push-offs into the groin area, and now we have what I see in a ton of NBA games, if I'm being honest. What do we see here from Claxton? We see him flex. Someone gets in between him and Embiid, and he's still flexing. I'm going to be honest. I do not see it. I would never have blown that whistle. You know what you do here as an official? The next time there is a timeout, or even in that official's position, if he just lets things go. So we're talking about the baseline guy right here, okay? When it comes back, the position. So sorry, guys, to break it down, to get a little referee nerd here. You see how they're triangulated. So you have you have one ref down here, you have one over here, you have one on the baseline.
Yeah.
So this baseline guy, he will have the opportunity as play goes into the opposite court. He'll be the backcourt ref. He has the opportunity, if he wants, to swing over to the other side and give some advice to the coach, i.e., hey, let's talk to our guys. It's getting a little rowdy here. Let's clean that up. I don't think that's a whistle. I'm getting called out saying, you would have blown the whistle. Listen, I
gotta let you live this down.
I have thrown out a tech or two for to set the tone, but you know what? I learned my lesson. I walk away from them. Let's see. Michael's got some thoughts here too. If mean mugging is an ejection, but kicking the dude in the thigh and back isn't. Yeah.
He's right. He's absolutely right.
That's the thing. Yeah, at this point, and again, the refs are to blame here.
They are absolutely to blame. They are absolutely to blame.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. You can't not, once you don't call the tech and you let that kick go, you have no business throwing out a competitor for throwing his arms out.
That's
are you kidding me? You've lost the right to be sensitive in this one, officials. I'm sorry. You've let the game get out of hand. The way you get it back in hand is by calling regular fouls, not by calling blatant, bogus techs. You call the fouls when they're reaching, when guys are bodying each other up because it's too physical now. You call those fouls. That's how you get a game back under control. You call the fouls that are there. You don't go and invent new fouls. It's ridiculous.
And Nick Claxton is having a big game. He's at 18 points on 9 shots. Like, they sent out one of Brooklyn Nets' best players. Like, not obviously Harden is too for the 76ers, but neither of them are earned. Neither of them are deserved. This is
I agree with that. I don't think either of them were deserved. I think the refs have gotten far too involved here, and I would love to know the answer to this. So if anyone in chat can figure out why the Undertaker is trending, listen. A little fun fact, a little meet the hosts, guys. I am a big wrestling mark. Okay, I love some wrestling. So if someone could tell me why Undertaker is trending, I would love to know. But let's see, Michael. Put on your tinfoil caps. I don't know what he's about to say here, but I saw it's all rigged in quotes. So everybody. But sports betting has something to do with how bad reffing has gotten in every sport. Hey, listen. What's the guy's name? Tim Donaghy? Who is
Tim Donahue?
Yeah, however, whichever. I always think of 30 Rock when I think of that. I never know how to pronounce it. But, hey, I have been on this very platform refuting former NFL All-Pros stating that the sports world is rigged for Illuminati blood sacrifices, and I stand by that take. However, I went to a college that was not once but twice busted for point shaving in its athletics program. Not while I was there, but let's be honest.
It wasn't you?
It wasn't me. No. Yeah, trust me. We'd have been able to shave way more points if I was on any athletic program. They'd have been like, take the over on whoever Kevin's guarding, but oh my goodness. Okay, can we take a little wrestling tangent? Because this just got okay. it's getting nuts. Let's see. Nick from Necessary Roughness. All right, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? Nice. I would love to know the real reason. I will not spread the false narrative, but that's a funny joke, Justin. All right, so we're gonna keep an eye on the Sixers and the Nets. We have to at this point.
Yeah,
we are
we have to pay attention to what's going on here.
Make sure we know, but keep us honest in the chat. We really appreciate you guys for letting us know. And shout out, we are actually simulcasting, and I can see that we have viewers on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So to our new Twitch viewers, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. So I'm going to hand it back to James, even though I know which game we're talking about next, sir. I will let you set the table.
One more game tonight. Phoenix Clippers tonight. However, we got bad news about an hour ago. Series goes back to LA, tied 1-1. Kawhi Leonard is out tonight. Sprained right knee. I do not know if that's a surgically repaired one. The story of the playoffs so far, Kev, has been injuries, which has not been great. Last Saturday was a really bad day for injuries. Tyler Hero broke his hand for Miami. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, essentially, unless they go on a major run. He's done from the playoffs. Ja re-aggravated his hand injury. He missed game 2 last night. Giannis injured his back. He missed game 2. And now we've got the news that Kawhi is out for game 3. A huge game tonight with a series tied 1-1 heading back to LA. Kev, do the Clippers have any chance tonight without far and away their best player, especially with Paul George out?
Not their best player.
He's averaging what? He's averaging 31.5 points a game right now. He had 38, 5 and 5, followed it up with 25, 6 and 5.
Here's how you
30.
Can tell.
Oh man, I'm wrong. He's averaging. That was the wrong one. He's at 38 and 31, so he's averaging 34 a game. He had 31, 8 and 7, 38, 5 and 5.
I find this fascinating right here. And let this be a lesson to all the current and future content creators out there, that you can never just take what you see from the worldwide leader in sports and copy and paste it into a script.
Right.
Trust that it will be accurate. I, for one, have made that mistake, as my Bulls brethren know. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, the power forward. I am certain that this matchup predictor had to have been set well before this injury news came out.
Well,
right?
It hasn't changed because it's quite wrong, folks. It's quite wrong. The top 4 players are now all playing for the Suns, right? You've got Durant, Booker, DeAndre Ayton, CP3. They all play for one team in that series. Man, I also love that the season leader for points there that they're showing with Kawhi out is Norman Powell. So there's your saving grace. That sucks, man. I hope it's a one-game thing, but injuries have defined the playoffs so far outside of ejections tonight, and I don't think they have any chance. I mean, the good news is it's 10:30 games, so I mean, I was already mad I had to be up so late. Like these Eastern Coast, these 10 o'clock, 10:30 tips are going to be the death of me out here on the East Coast.
Retweet.
So that's good, but that sucks. It sucks, man. The Phoenix line has jumped all the way to 8 points.
Yeah, exactly. At least I got that part right. But yeah, I think you're 100% right here, and I'm frustrated, James. When I said on this program that I thought the Clippers might be the deepest team in the NBA, I didn't
test it.
Yeah, I didn't want to test the theory like this. My goodness,
you wanted to test it with them with all the guys out there.
Yeah, I wanted to see a second unit with Bones and Terrence Mann and Eric
Bones
Gordon.
Bones is gonna get some run tonight, dog. Like Bones is gonna get a play.
No, secret Bones. Is it a Bones elevation night?
This is a Bones fan club out here. Party of one. Party of one. He might have to have 25. Oh,
might not be enough. Okay.
It's going to turn into the Russell Westbrook show. He's been good this series. Like, give him credit where credit's due. He had the monster block at the end of game 1, and then threw it off Booker at the end of the game. And then he did have 28 points on 16 shots last game. Don't mind us 2 for 3 from 3. Sniper. I mean, is he going to try to go nuts? And then all of a sudden they do get just exploded out of the gym because he goes like 2 for 25. He wasn't good was he 3 for 19? I think he wasn't good. his from the field, he wasn't good.
Yeah, it's all about the effort, the defensive intensity, and really the playmaking. You can't count on Russell Westbrook to go out and be your leading scorer and win a game in the playoffs at this point in time. That's my opinion.
No.
Yeah, and it is frustrating, right? I see what Michael is saying here. To see KD versus Kawhi and Paul, this matchup on paper, so tantalizing, and we're getting the second unit against the Suns. And what do you think for the long term for this series? It seems like, we know for a fact, right? Paul George is not coming back this series. We might get Kawhi back. How are you feeling? Are you locked in on the Suns going forward?
Yeah, I think I have to be. The Suns needed to win one in LA to get this back, get the home court advantage back, and they're going to tonight. So maybe it goes back 2-2, but this is what just sucks for the Clippers. This is defined this Paul George Kawhi era is the inability of them to both be on the court at the same time.
We talk about the greatest what ifs. It's right up there with that Thunder what if. I mean, the Thunder honestly have a couple of them, and Paul George might be involved with one as well, because they could have potentially done something if anyone had ever believed that was more than a pit stop. But yeah, on top of the that big four the Thunder had, I think the Clippers, the way they made this whole deal come together, because it's easy to forget because a lot of crazy trades have happened in the NBA since then. But this was kind of a big deal when Kawhi and Paul George made this happen in the offseason, for them both to be, I believe they were, Kawhi, I can't remember how things were orchestrated. I believe Paul George was under contract elsewhere.
Paul George was
got
definitely under
traded.
contract. Was Kawhi a free agent?
I think he was a free agent as well. Yeah. And then it ended up being he signed and then they traded. But either way, the fact that they might get nothing out of it is very sad, and it's not a knock on either of them, because I still to this day think that this is it's at least the second deepest team in the NBA when every player on the team is healthy.
And the problem is, they are never healthy ever.
Never happened. So for my money, give me the Suns in this series. I hate to say it. As you know, James, I had the Clippers deep in the regular season, up even after the Paul George injury. I was holding tight that the Clippers were going to sneak into the Western Conference Finals, and I have to tap at this point. I think the Suns are going to be too much for them for this series.
I think so too. This sucks, but I think you're right, man. I do. That's tough. It's tough.
Let us know in the comments what would you bet? The spread is 8 in favor of Phoenix. So let us know if you are jamming on Phoenix to cover that spread, or if you think the Clippers have enough in them to at least keep it a close game. So
quick update here coming down the stretch. Nets 76ers. Nets are up 5 with 2 minutes to play. They're holding on.
Looks like they're going to hold on to that 3-0 series lead. I think we're still going to get a gentleman's sweep, because I wouldn't be surprised to see I still won't be surprised to see Embiid getting a game retroactively. I know he didn't get taken out of this game.
This is going to get weird. It's going to be interesting to see what the NBA comes out and says. And
it could, it could be a damage control move, is what I'm getting at. That this could be something that clip show. There we go. Okay, so Justin's
he's not quitting. He ain't a quitter.
I like it. He's going to take them to cover the spread. So we have covered all of the games that are active tonight. Where would you like to start, my friend?
Why don't we just pull up the graphic, Kev, and work our way through it?
I am good with that. So here is the graphic. You don't get us, but you get the graphic.
Perfect. That's perfect. Let's go quick. The Nuggets Timberwolves is going exactly how we expected, right?
Yes. With some yes, with not an asterisk, but yes. I did not expect. Game 2 is very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big game of runs, and Jamal Murray. Obviously, I'm a stan.
Stellar last night. 40 points, 13 of 22, 6 of 10 from 3. Fun fact, Kev, his first 30-point playoff game in front of his home crowd. The other times he scored 30 were in the bubble.
Oh, let's go. Which was really the last time we got to see him do anything, because that's what I was going to touch on. It's been back-to-back playoffs without this guy, and now we finally get to see it, and he is not disappointing. It has been.
The Nuggets' defense in game 1 was what really caught my eye. They held the Wolves at 37% from the field, 30.6% from 3. Joker's doing Joker things. He's diming up everybody, weird spin moves. Like Michael Porter Jr. had 13 points in the fourth quarter last night. That was after
taking only one shot in the first 3 quarters,
which is wild for him.
Phenomenal.
I will, I'll shout out Anthony Edwards. Man, he had 41 last night on 23 shots. Like, he played good. Like, I wasn't a believer in him coming out of college, and I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong on that one.
I actually had that thought driving home today. I was like, I think I have a tweet from a year or two ago where it was some move that Anthony Edwards did that reminded me of Jordan. It actually might be on the Bite Size Sports YouTube channel right now as a short. Back when I was riding solo and I didn't have to QA this stuff, and I said something crazy about Anthony Edwards being the future of the NBA. So I stand by that. I think he definitely. He reminds me of a young Jordan in a sense that the perimeter game isn't nearly as polished, but he can just do some incredible things even after he's left his feet, and just body control in the air. He's a great player, phenomenal player. And you mentioned that Nuggets defense. Listen, it's a little bit about the Nuggets defense. It's also a little bit about the Timberwolves offense, which you and I have chronicled their difficulty. Now, we thought they would have a hard time figuring out when Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert were on the court.
They do an elite thing here, Kev. This is elite. Never seen this done ever. The elite
60% of the time.
Yes, 60% of the time it works every time. The elite same block to same block pass. Old robot Kyle Anderson. Oh my God, Kev. They went from left block to left block.
This is the peak of
basketball evolution is happening right before our eyes.
We're going to roll it one more time, just in case you missed it. So what we got Karl Anthony Towns on the block. We have a cutter. Our cutter gets nowhere. He takes
the block.
Bodied to the block, and Karl Anthony Towns says, "Yeah, no, this is fine. You do this. You're better at this than I am." What happened?
Wild happened, and the 76ers have scored 8 straight points.
Oh my goodness!
What happened? Let's see here. It
was
96-91. Maxey 3-pointer. Missed shot. Maxey 2. Tie game. Tyrese Maxey has scored the last 8 points. 8 straight. So they are up with 40 seconds left. Okay, back to the Twin Towers on the left block.
That's crazy.
I don't know, Kev. I don't know what to even do with it. I just, like, we are watching the evolution of basketball right before our eyes, and it's going in the wrong direction.
Not good. Wow, Maxey. Yeah, it went nuts. That is crazy. So, to take it back to the playoff bracket, they are who we thought they were, Denver, Minnesota. Yep. No surprises here. Next we go to, we already talked Suns, Clippers, and Kings, Warriors. So now we go to the other part, the Grizzlies, Lakers, and I will take the bracket down for now because we're going to have something else to talk about here. We've got another clip coming up shortly. But, James, first thing I have to mention is the Grizzlies' incredible ability to win games without Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've seen it before. We saw it last year. We saw it in the regular season this year. And we saw it in the most important game of this season that they had to play without Ja Morant. However, I happen to be one of the guys who puts this loss solely on the head of the Los Angeles Lakers. Not that I don't want to give the Grizzlies any credit. What are your takeaways from Game 2?
It was a surprisingly easy win for Memphis. Every time they were up almost 10 the whole game. It was really weird. It was everyone. There wasn't somebody that exploded. Jackson 18-9, Bain 17, Brooks, Bears in quotations 12, Tyus Jones 10 and 8 assists. We talked about this before the series when I talked about Xavier Tillman guarding Anthony Davis. I brought this up. He had a career high, not a playoff high, he had a career high 22 points last night. He had 13 rebounds, and he held Anthony Davis to nothing. And for some reason, Anthony Davis had 13 points, 4 of 14 from the field, 9 rebounds.
That is, I wish I could reach over and dust your shoulder off for you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Wrong one.
There it is. There it is.
He was the X factor last night, and I'm very impressed because I actually thought Memphis was going to be down 2-0 without Ja. They kept the dynamic duo of Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves in check. I know that's wild to say.
Mm-hmm.
Let LeBron do his thing. He had 28 and 12, but the rest of the Lakers did nothing.
Yeah, you thought that the Lakers were going to cakewalk to a 2-0 lead, and it seems like the Los Angeles Lakers thought that too because they did not show up ready to play. And the one thing they should have been able to count on going into Memphis and playing against the Memphis Grizzlies with or without Ja Morant, but especially without Ja Morant, the one thing, you've already stolen a game on the road. So the one thing you should expect from Memphis is that they are going to come with high energy. And at the end of the day, Memphis is Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, and a handful of 3-and-D guys and a ton of energy playing at home.
Yes.
And then one of the most energetic crowds. How do you not show up ready to play? How do the Lakers should have walked into that game thinking, we are not coming back here. This is a must-win for us. We're going to go handle business, and then we are going to go take care of the rest of this in front of our home crowd. Instead, they walked in thinking, this team can't touch us because we're the Lakers. We already beat them when they had Ja Morant. No way. Which is foolish because anyone who's been watching the NBA for the last 2 years knows that this Grizzlies team is incredibly dangerous. Tyus Jones, us 2K nerds out there know it. Tyus Jones quickly replaced Corey Joseph as the best sneaky point guard to play as in 2K. Or maybe I was just a Corey Joseph guy. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. But we all know Tyus Jones is the truth. My 2024 Seattle Supersonics prove it in 2K all the time. But no, the Lakers really dropped the ball here, in my opinion. However, with all of that in mind, who do you have, James, taking the Grizzly? Well, should I play the clip? Do you want to make a prediction before I play the clip, or should we talk about the clip first? How do you want to do this?
Let's make our predictions, and then I have to have a separate segment to talk about one of my favorite clips in the NBA this year. I preface it by it is one of my favorite things I've seen all year in the league. Kev, I do like the Grizzlies now. I assume Ja's going to be back. It's not a broken hand. It sounds like it's a soft tissue issue. I do believe it's on a shooting hand, which isn't great. But I do believe he's going to be back. They haven't given an update. They're keeping that one pretty close to the vest. But I believe he'll be back. And I'm going to take the Grizzlies. Maybe it could go 7. This one might be a long series, but the longer it goes, I actually think the more it favors them because it gives him time.
Agree.
Gives Ja time to come back. So
agree. Yeah, it gives him time to come back. Younger team, and yeah, the last I heard was it's a right hand issue, and it was to the point where he couldn't grip the basketball. So which is why, because you'd like to. I mean. You would. It's not that you'd like to imagine. You know that even if his shooting form was down, I'm sure Ja would have played. If his right hand, if he could have just dribbled, I'm sure he would have gladly played and taken as many layups as he could. But I think I picked the Lakers to win this one at the start, and so I'm not ready to jump off of that pick quite yet. So I'm gonna stick with my Lakers in 7 pick. For now, although it's a major, I hope that Game 2 lit a fire under them because that should be a warning. We talked about Denver was very lucky. They got their wake-up call in a game that they still got to win, all right, when they had that big lead and Minnesota came roaring back in the third quarter, and then, okay, Denver's like, oh, we actually still have to play you guys. Okay, but they won. the Lakers had a chance to pretty much put this thing out, and they didn't. Maybe that'll be a wake-up call. That's what I'm going to say. Trevor says game blouses. Now, I wonder if that has anything to do with this upcoming clip. So in the meantime, while we play this clip, if you haven't picked your winner for the Lakers-Grizzlies series in the chat, let us know, or feel free to give a prediction for one of these other series that you know is upcoming. If you've been following along, you know we still got a couple to talk about, so we would love to hear it. Ooh, it looks like, do we have a final? James, do we have a final from the Philly Nets game?
I think
Seems...
Embiid just had a monster block at the rim. Yep,
I love this little.
Yeah. It's yeah, they won by 5. They are up 3-0. They finished, so the series is done now. Embiid had a monster block at the rim when they were up 3. Spencer did what he tried to go left side, and Embiid says no thanks. Him not getting ejected in the first quarter comes back to save them. So
can't wait to talk about that. Oh, it makes me wish we had Biting Early up and running so I could talk about this again with some coffee in me, but in the meantime, let us know your thoughts. Is it going to be a clean sweep from the Sixers? We've got another series now that you can let us know a comment about. In the meantime, should I roll that beautiful Brooks footage?
Yes,
James?
give it to me. I will. Like I said, this is quite possibly my favorite clip of the year.
Here we go.
And when they started making a run,
there are some people. The Lakers are making that run. They get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on. But, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. I pride myself on, what I do is defense and taking on any challenge that's on the board.
I mean, I have a take, but Justin took it for me. So remember when he wore that sweater that had a clown on it? It was like Bozo the Clown. I almost bought that because A, it looked good, but B, he was representing.
He's fantastic. I have talked about all year how I hate Dylan Brooks. I don't like the way he acts. I'm taking it all back. I'm in. There's so much to dissect there, Kev. All right. Let's go with his just casual, he's old. Which, technically, he's right. It's funny.
He ain't lying, I guess. Yeah.
He ain't lying. And then his I poke bears comment.
Yeah. Also, again, I don't see a lie there either.
Which is actually kind of a comment to LeBron, it is. And then his joke, until he comes in here and gives me 40, I ain't worried about it.
Which is where I guess I have a problem because, so as a teammate, I love this in the locker room, in practice. To an extent, as a teammate, I might even love it as it happened out in the open to the media. But I love the swagger, love the self-confidence.
So much swagger.
Why would you give? There are 2 athletes that, at least in modern times, until recently, you could say 2 athletes that are still active, that to me you just don't provide them with bulletin board material, and they are Tom Brady and, as it pertains to this instance,
Dylan Brooks.
Yes. No, Anthony Davis. No, it's LeBron James. Why? Yes, he said, I poke bears. Yeah, you think? Of all the bears you got to poke, first of all, lest we forget, you lost home court advantage, okay? You did not get the job done as it pertains to this series. You are losing this series. I know it's 1-1, but schematically, the way you think about things, you're not supposed to lose a game at home. Why are you again, yes, you're confident in what you just did without Ja, but you're going into LA. I just personally wouldn't have been excited as a coach to have my guy who isn't going to go out there and get me like that. The offense is never running through Dillon Brooks. So, yeah, while he does some great things defensively, to be honest, like that's not really a guy that I want to be talking like that about LeBron James before a key playoff game. So, James, what are your thoughts? Obviously, we love it. From where we're sitting, we love it all day long.
Listen,
if
from
you're
the
coach,
content
do you love
side,
it?
from the content side, I love every second of it. I am all about it. If I'm his head coach, I'm just doing the biggest eye roll, like fall out of my seat. I hate it. I hate it from that side. But oh man, it's an elite. His deadpan delivery too. He's just stone cold. Like doesn't seem to be taking it serious at all. Just monotone. He's dressed wild. He's big glasses on. No shirt. He's just got a coat on. The chain with the DB. Like I'm about it, man. I am about it.
I love a good character. I've said this many a time. Much like a movie or a TV show, I believe that sports are more entertaining. They are better when you have villains. And the fans of Memphis will probably, I'm sure a lot of them love Dillon Brooks because he's that same kind of guy. As a longtime fan of Lance Stevenson, that's our second Lance Stevenson reference of the day for the day for you guys keeping score at home. You love to root for those guys. You hate, you think the Heat fans liked when he was blowing cool air in LeBron's ear? Like, probably not, but us Pacers fans thought he was the best.
That was awesome, yeah.
We loved it. So, yeah, as a coach, it could be a lot. As a player, as a fan, I think as long as that guy's on your team, you're okay with it. And when you're playing against him, he's the worst person to ever exist on the face of this earth, which tells you he's doing that part well, right? He's very good at getting into people's heads. I will give him that. I wonder. I'm not asking you to respond to this, James. I may just leave it out there to marinate unless you have a response. But part of me wonders, Russell Westbrook was famous for once saying, Pat Bev has tricked y'all, like that. He just tells people he's really good at defense, and so that became the narrative. Sometimes I wonder if Dillon Brooks is really that dude when it comes to being a one-on-one defensive guru. I'm not certain that I agree with that.
I'd have to really watch the tape. I know the narrative says he is. I don't know. That's actually I don't know. And you're right. Like, it's actually worth looking into. I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. I'd have to really, really watch the tape to see. I just don't.
And maybe we can check into that.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know in a comment if you feel strongly one way or the other. Is Dillon Brooks that dude, or has he fooled us in the way that Pat Bev may have? I don't know. I didn't say it. Russ did. So who is next on our breakdown?
Let's knock an easy one out. Let's just jump straight across bottom right there. Celtics are doing what we expected. I literally didn't even type any notes. I got them.
Likewise.
We talked up sweep or gentleman sweep. Game 1, 112.99. Game 2, 119.106. They're doing what we expected.
Yep.
We both expect 4-0 or 4-1, right? We don't go too far deep into that one.
Yes, barring a major injury to Brown or Tatum. And honestly, even if that happened, all it would give me is Celtics in 6 or Celtics in 7.
Yeah.
I believe in what Quinn Snyder might be able to do for this team in the future. This just isn't their year. And
he just started 75% of the way through the season. Like, I do like what they're doing, but I agree with you. Same thing there.
I'm going to upset at least one live listener, but to me, yeah, it's Bucks and Celtics are the top 2 right now in the East. So until the next series, Philly will maybe give me a reason to look deeply at one of these second-round matchups, but as it comes to the Hawks-Celtics one and our next one, you can already guess where I'm going to go here. Bucks Heat.
Nice lead in. That was well done, Kev.
Might have been concerned going into game 2, but Pat Connaughton dropping 24 on your head off the bench will make a guy feel like it's nothing can go wrong.
They hit 25 threes in game 2. That's tied for an NBA playoff record. They shot a blistering 53.5% from the field, 53 of 99. They made 53 shots. They were 25 of 49 from 3, 51%. They only attempted 8 free throws, made 7 of them. Most points they had in a playoff game since 78. They had 81 points at half. The final score is closer than that game ever was. 7 players in double figures. We talked about this a little bit in Discord. I thought the Bucks were more prepared to win without their star than the Grizzlies were. I thought the Bucks were built to win more than without Giannis than the Grizzlies were, and they actually both won. They both proved me wrong last night, or the Grizzlies proved me wrong last night. Don't really have an update on Giannis, other tightness in his back. He dove on the floor to get a ball. Weird upset in game 1. They lost 130 to 117. Jimmy Butler had a monster game, 35, 11, and 5. Bam had 22, 9, and 7. Kevin Love hit the fountain of youth, had 18 points and 8 rebounds. Middleton was really good. Bobby Portis was good. It was a good game. However, Tyler Hero broke his shooting hand. Kev, the question I have, and I think we both lean the same way on this. Who's a bigger loss if they were to miss this whole series? Is it Tyler Hero, who is out for the series? It's confirmed. Or is it Giannis, who is not confirmed, could very well be back next game? But if he would miss the whole series, what's a bigger loss to their team right now?
This one's so weird. This one, it almost feels, I can hear, we're both Star Wars fans. I hear Admiral Akbar in my head.
That's a trap.
It's a trap. Right? Because the quick, easy, fire from the hip answer is Giannis, next question. Yep. Move on, right? However, I've been talking a lot this episode about how the Clippers are the second deepest team in the NBA.
You
right,
have.
James?
Yes, you have, bud.
Who have I said since the trade deadline, without a shadow of a doubt, was the deepest team?
Fighting Joe Ingles.
That is
the
correct.
Milwaukee Bucks.
That is correct. The same team that had, I think, 7 different players at double figures without Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, like I mentioned Pat Connaughton coming out. He's a guy we haven't seen anything from since he came back from injury. And now that he's back hitting 20 a night, again, he's not a guy you're going to run the offense through, but he is proving once again that you can't just leave him open. So because of that, I think the Heat need Hero for this series. We're not talking, as long as we're not talking about beyond this series. I think the Heat need Hero more than the Bucks need Giannis.
Yep.
Now, if Middleton gets hurt or Ingles, okay. Like if the Bucks start to lose other pieces, sure. But they have 2 other All-Stars to carry the load. I think they'll be okay.
Yep, that's exactly how I feel. Miami really needs Tyler Hero's scoring punch. They have very few guys. They don't have anybody else like him on that team where the Bucks can turn to, like you said, Middleton, Portis, Brook Lopez had a big game. Connaughton comes back. Jay Crowder's on the bench. Ingles, like they've got guys everywhere. The Heat are a big 3 of Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. And without Tyler Hero, they lose such a huge segment of their team. And you're right. It is the Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. It was the obvious answer is Giannis, but in a like when you look at it and just this series specifically in a vacuum, the bigger loss is Tyler Hero for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I agree with you. And just to add a little extra layer, since we're talking about injuries, we talked about Ja.
So many, man.
Keeping this same context, keeping this same scope, let's just stick to round 1 because that's where we are. We got a lot more of the NBA playoffs to discuss every Thursday right here on Bite Size Sports. But which is the biggest? Is it Ja, or do you stick with Hero, or is there another one that I have forgotten that you think would supplant these?
I actually think the biggest loss just in a vacuum in their specific series is Kawhi.
Ooh,
I think Hero is pretty close just in the one series, but without Kawhi, I don't know who the Clippers can beat in the playoffs. Like considering Paul George is already out, man, that one's tough. I think it's Kawhi.
That's a good one. I If they were to miss, if all things are the same and we're considering all 4 of these guys to have the potential to miss the entire series, I wouldn't disagree there. It's unfortunate because it has the condition. If Paul George were healthy, I might disagree. But hey, yes, we got a shout out here. Thank you for tuning in, Justin. Really appreciate it, man. Hope you can tune in again, and I'll definitely talk to you soon either way. But yeah, celebrate the win. Happy holidays. 3-0, the Sixers are leading the Nets. So before we get into the last Eastern Conference matchup, which is funny, it's the one we've known about the longest and the one that I am the least certain about, I am going to take a look at chat here. And while I do, let me throw up a banner to remind all of you that you can join the conversation in our Discord. You want to help us decide what we're going to talk about on the Bounce on Thursday night or on Necessary Roughness on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Or maybe you need some advice for your upcoming fantasy dynasty draft or setting a daily lineup. You can reach out to Dan and Trevor directly from Another Damn Fantasy Podcast. You just need to join our Discord right there. It's on the screen. It is in the comment section, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. So check it out there. We would love to hear from you. But let's also check out a comment here unrelated to the NBA. Our dear friend Michael, who you can find on Tuesdays right here, 9 p.m. Eastern, said, "Don't have to bring it up, but I did. The Cardinals' new unis are garbage. I am sadly not surprised. Do you have them?
Not good.
Do you have them handy, James?
Yes.
I don't mind pulling them up. We could save that for the. Or you got it. If you got it, yeah. What
sending it to you right now.
Perfect.
I don't understand people that design uniforms. They mess them up so much. They're just. Let me put it this way. I don't think these are bad. Like, I don't think these are like. They're just blah meh. Right?
Okay.
Like,
in the chat, if you haven't seen these yet, I would love. Ooh, okay, here we go. We've got Chargers' best uniforms of football. Let's go. Yes. Okay. Before I talk about these, these Cardinals jerseys give me a Utah Jazz vibe. That's my NBA equivalent. Trevor, if you've seen them, James, sorry, if you've seen them, what is your thought before I show the crowd? Do you have an NBA equivalent to what these Cardinals jerseys look like?
God, man. No, I don't. Not one off the top of my head. Like, I think the Jazz, that's a fun one. These are bad, man. Like,
here we go. I'll show him now. Here we go.
The suspense.
Wait, it's not the right one. Share this tab instead. There we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's block lettering. It's plain. What are we doing here?
I don't like what is this?
Let us know in the chat, W or L. Simple as that. Or you can press X to doubt because I'm a big LA Noir fan. So
they definitely went for a clean look.
That's one way to describe it.
It's just it's just bland.
It's clean.
Like,
yeah.
Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I don't hate these. They're just bland. Like, I've seen way worse. I tell you that. But these do not pop off the screen at all.
See, listen, all right, we've got some confirmation here on this whole, not only on the Chargers having some slick jerseys, same. I mean, I don't have any Charger hatred, but those powder blues, they do something for me. And I agree. Retweet right here what Trevor said. Boring. Yeah. With a capital hell.
That is so boring.
Yeah, it does kind of. Okay, Michael throws the 49ers throwback, Oklahoma Sooners at home, or the team from the longest yard. Oh, mwah. That's a chef's kiss right there. So, oh my goodness. Well, thank you. I would apologize, but I feel like everyone watching was on board for that NFL tangent. So that's why you got to tune in. You never know.
My 10-second tangent. I used to design uniforms. I did them all for Indiana State. I did them from Bowling Green. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do. It is so, like, if you have an eye for color and like it's so easy to make good uniforms. And it just is mind-blowing to me that somebody got paid a lot of money to design these, and that's what you get. And you see this all the time. You see it. Every brand does it. Adidas is famous. Their college basketball uniforms they've gotten a little better, but man, you remember the old sleeved college basketball jerseys they ran out? They were so bad. It's mind-blowing to me. Like, listen, I would have done this for free, and I guarantee something would have been a lot better than that.
I don't doubt it. Hey, listen, I too, I've designed a few jerseys myself in NCAA football 03 to 14, and yeah, this is about what happens when you just don't even adjust anything. You just pick your two colors. You say, "I'm going to be the Tiburon Sharks." Yeah,
the Tiburon Sharks. Yes, Trev, you're right. Shout out, appreciate that. The baby blue uniforms Indiana State wears, the throwback Larry Birds. Ooh. I was a part of the redesign when we went to Under Armour. I had to rebuild those. My claim to fame, they look exactly like them, and they are some of the best jerseys in college basketball.
Wait, so what? I have some thoughts here. I maybe have some questions.
Let's hear it, buddy.
What years were you responsible for that? Because I'm wondering if I played some 2K college basketball games where I was listen, okay, I'm gonna remove this. We need to be full screen for this. Something that the fans may or may not know. One of our links is those trees, those sycamores, because where you have coached is where I grew up, where I first watched college basketball, where I first watched the Indianapolis Colts in spring training or whatever, their practice facility.
They were here in Rose-Hulman.
Yep. Grew up as a Larry Bird stan above all else. So, of course, in the modern, in the golden age of college sports games back in college football and basketball, there were a few years where the Sycamores were available. So I think 2K7, 2K8, that was my dynasty squad. Were those your unis I was rocking?
They wouldn't have been those. So Indiana State, if you remember the Larry Bird throwbacks, the baby blues, the iconic ones they wore in the national title game. At some point, and I believe it was either in the 80s or 90s, they changed logos. They went to a different logo and dropped baby blue. It wasn't a color anymore. It got brought back. They started reusing the little logo, but the 40th anniversary was a couple of years ago. Was that 19? Whatever. I think it was 2019. They brought those guys back, and we had just signed with Under Armour, and we wanted to rebuild those baby blue uniforms and wear them again. So I had to work directly with Under Armour on the piping and the logo, like the script and everything, like to use. And we redid those uniforms and debuted them. And now they wear them all the time. And baby blue is back to being, it's an official alternate color, so they can wear them all the time. And those baby blues are beautiful. They're beautiful. I love them.
That is dope. And they are. Yep. And that's much better. You know, outside of just sharing a court with Tom Izzo and Draymond in the same game, of course, and then Lance. My biggest claim to fame in the college basketball world was that I used to trade game tape with Jerry McNamara because he was the film tape guy back in Syracuse back in my day, and we shared some opponents one season. So it was, I mean, can you imagine, some of you in the comments can probably imagine the level of fanhood this is, but imagine watching a guy win games in the Big East tournament and in the NCAA tournament. And as you're a kid, you're a high schooler, and you're like, wow, this is one of my favorite players. It's been well documented on The Bounce, my secret fanhood for Syracuse, even though I grew up in Indiana. I love the 2-3 zone, love Jim Boeheim. So I love Jerry McNamara. Can you imagine what it's then like a couple years later to be like, oh yeah, here's the phone number for Syracuse's film coach. You're going to need to talk to him to trade tape. And it's that same freaking guy.
That's
forgive
fun.
me for being a nerd, but
that's not being a nerd. That's pretty cool, man. Like that one's cool. That is cool. Oh.
All right, so we got one last game to check out, or one last series, I should say.
We both agreed we thought this would be the best series of the playoffs, and it has been very good so far. So Cleveland, New York, tied 1-1 going to Cleveland. Knicks took game 1, 101-97. Donovan Mitchell had 38, but the rest of the team really didn't much. Jalen Brunson scored 21 after half. Julius Randle he did make his return. He has not missed a game, Kev. So we I don't remember which way. I don't think we thought he was going to play, so that's good for him. Knicks ended up having 17 offensive rebounds. The Cavs 11. That was the game. Then game 2, the script was flipped. I said that wrong. Cleveland blows out New York 107-90. It was worse than that. New York 36.7% from the field, just 24%, 7 of 21 from 3, whereas Cleveland was firing away 49% from the field, 42 from 3. Darius Garland, 32 points, big game. And then somebody I didn't even realize was still on their team, Karis LeVert, 24 points off the bench for Cleveland in the win.
Oh, my boy Karis finally getting his redemption.
Yep.
No, I'm going to, shameless plug here. I do write and edit
that is right,
NCAA and NBA articles at the Last Word on Sports. And not too long ago, actually it was probably over a year or so ago, I did write a article about Karis LeVert because it's a great story. He's one of my favorite short-term Indiana Pacers of all time. And the guy is a bucket. He really is.
He is, man.
He can work you down in a one-on-one situation. He can go get a bucket. So I'm very happy to see his success. And feel free to go read some of my words when you're done here as well. Michael, easy for me to say, or easy for you to say, right? So, hey, you mentioned it. We both were on the fence on this one because we thought Randall might miss the first couple of games. And so we thought, hey, well, if they can survive, maybe keep it close and he comes back by game 3, maybe they have a chance. I think I still went Cavs in 7. So here we are. It's 1-1. Randall's in the series. They are where we kind of thought they would be. Has anything changed for you based on the first 2 games you've seen, James?
No, other than Julius Randle surprising us both and being good to go. And I think it was him joking about being out of shape. But no, nothing's changed for me. I still lean towards Donovan Mitchell. But man, this has been a fun series. I think this one goes 7. Tomorrow night's game 3. Knicks are favored by 1.5 right now. This series is gonna be a lot of fun, and also I hate the scheduling overlords. Tomorrow's Friday night. I don't have to work Saturday, so let's not start a game at 10:30. We started at 9:30. The Nuggets game. I hate this world. I hate the scheduling.
Yeah.
overlords.
Meanwhile, tonight, there's a game.
There's
that
a game that
hasn't
hasn't tipped yet.
And
Us weirdos on the East Coast, Kev. That I tell you,
I'm telling you, we got to move a couple hours. Well,
we got
a couple time zones.
We got to go that way. We at least got to go 1, if not 2. That Warriors Kings game on Monday night was rough on the soul. I was up all night, and that poof. Back to what we're supposed to be talking about. Do you has your thought changed? Are you leaning one way or the other here?
Yeah, I'm still Cavs here. Maybe I still think it's Cavs in 7. I think it's funny. This is the series that we knew was coming first, and it's been the one that I've been the most intrigued by, and it was still not certain right now where it's going to go. So I think it's going 7. I think it's going Cavs. I've got my issues with Tom Thibodeau's rotation decision. See, I have to stick to my script here because for the life of me, I think Tibbs runs too shallow of a rotation, and it always burns him at this time of year because even when he's got young players, they get gassed. He's run them down.
Yep, I agree with that. You can ask Amari Stoudemire's knees how Tom Thibodeau did for his career. Steve Nash is back. Or no, Steve Nash was he wasn't up there. I agree with you. I don't like his rotations. I still like the Cavs. I'm a big believer in the Cavs here. I do think this is a 7-game series. Of all the round 1 series, this is the one I don't have like a definitive, like, I think like these guys have got this. It's the one where I'm just like, I don't know, I think it's Cleveland, but
no one
could be wrong. Very easily be wrong.
Yeah, I'm with you there. This is one of there's a lot of them I'm very confident on and would place a wager on. It's not this series. I think this is the most fun. We should enjoy it because I do think these two teams might be the last teams playing in the first round. We could get another 7-game series out there. Maybe Memphis, LA, I think could be a 7-gamer, but this is the one that feels the most likely to go the distance. So let's enjoy it. And speaking of enjoying things, I have enjoyed this time here with all of you. Thank you so much to those of you in the chat. We'll give some shout outs here specifically. Trevor, Michael, Justin. Let me make sure I don't want to miss anybody. So if
Nick was in there.
Nick, thank you. Yep, Nick. So fantastic, guys. We really appreciate you. And we hope to see you again next week. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention before we left that you need to check out all of our other shows. So go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. You can watch us live on Facebook as well, or our Twitch channel. We've got Necessary Roughness every Tuesday at 9 p.m., Another Damn Fantasy podcast on Wednesdays, and of course us right here at The Bounce Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Although next week we actually might have that Wednesday slot because we're going to be doing a little special NFL draft stream here on Bite
We are
Size
avoiding
Sports.
the draft with the basketball show. We are going to be going Wednesday. We're going to go same time, right? We're going 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And I think Michael joked about needing to get out west, and he is absolutely right. Maybe not as far west as him, but more west than this.
Yes, 100%.
That is.
Well,
so here's a story for you, Kev. This is the wild one. So we 1 year we played in the Diamond Head Classic, which is in Hawaii over Christmas. And Sunday morning I woke up 8:30, turned the TV on, and NFL was on live. I thought it was replays, and I was like, no, that's a live NFL game right now. So that's wild when you're out there. Oh,
that
Michael.
sounds like heaven. Yeah, why?
Herbert, Justin, you don't want a receiver, huh? You want a tight end added. That's an interesting take. That's not what happened on the Bounce mock draft on Monday.
Yeah, Bite Size Sports mock draft, which, you guys should go check that out in between now and the draft next Thursday. You can see what myself, James, and 6 other
draft,
experts
Kev.
at Bite Size Sports. Yeah.
Go find out what
now,
the
Michael
steal of the
Mayer
draft was. Didn't get drafted.
Yeah, go find out.
He
didn't get drafted at all. Was he the snub of the first round?
Could have been, buddy. Could have been. Currently, the Warriors are running away from the Kings. They're not running away. They're up 9.
Oh, okay. They're starting to get there. Hey, they might. I expect them to win at home. See, it's just like we said.
Yep,
well,
I went against you, so.
Hey, well, it's smart money would do that. But hey, thank you all again so much for watching. Our Discord is on the screen. It's in a comment somewhere. Go ahead and join us there. We'd love to hang out with you. We do this all week long. It's just that we only record it when we're live streaming here. So if you want to get in the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hang out with you. So without any further ado, James, where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me right there. Look at that. Right there. Schmeitz06, pretty much everywhere on socials. Catch us here every Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Please come join us in the Discord. Come give us your comments, takes. Give me your wildest NBA take. Let's see what you got. Thank you guys for joining us this week. And thank you, Justin. I appreciate that comment.
Oh, there we go. I like that. I can retweet that one, Justin. Absolutely. Yes. And I will say also go ahead and follow me right there. It's on screen at @KevNevick_. Let's get the truth back on the screen here for the final, though. Also find all of us on Twitter at @Bite_Size Sports. We also have an Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Anywhere the internet is made, you can find Bite Size Sports, providing you with sports content with a bite. We appreciate you again for coming along. We'll see you real soon. And until then, be safe. Take care of each other out there. All right. See ya.